The Palace of Abstraction stood on the highest crystal plateau of the Celestiar homeworld. It was a place that looked more like a dream than a building. Towers glowed like soft stars, and long bridges of transparent stone connected gardens filled with floating flowers. Every visitor, no matter how important or proud, always paused for a moment when they entered the palace gates. The beauty was impossible to ignore, but even in such a peaceful and shining place, there was a mystery that no one could solve. Every night, when the palace lights dimmed and the halls grew quiet, the Emperor's guardian, an enormous living dragon named Sirath, released glowing tears that fell slowly to the floor like drops of liquid crystal. The tears were gentle, soft, and beautiful, but they carried a deep sadness. The palace staff whispered about them, the nobles pretended not to notice, and the Emperor remained silent about it. Only one thing was clear. No one truly understood why Sirath wept. Sirath was not like dragons in old Earth stories. This dragon was a creation of Celestiar science, mixed with ancient alien craftsmanship. Its scales were made of shimmering plates that shifted color with its emotions. Its wings were broad and soft, like folded sheets of starlight. Even when Sirath was still, a faint glow pulsed from within, as if it held a small sun in its chest. Though its appearance was majestic and even comforting, most attendants were too intimidated to approach it closely. After all, Sirath was the guardian of the Emperor, the symbol of Celestiar pride. To disturb the dragon felt almost like disrespecting the Emperor himself, and so, night after night, the dragon sat quietly in its chamber, humming a low, soft chord that made the walls tremble slightly, while crystal tears fell beneath its long snout. Things remained this way until Ilara Wynn arrived. Ilara was a human maid from Earth. She had traveled across many light years to take on a simple service job at the Celestiar Palace. Humans were still new in the Celestial Empire, and some Celestiars viewed them as curious, unusual, or strangely emotional beings, but the Emperor valued interspecies understanding and had recently opened palace positions to well-trained humans. Ilara was small compared to most Celestiars, who stood taller and moved with elegant, gliding steps. Her hair was tied back in a tidy braid, and her uniform, a simple, soft gray outfit, always looked freshly pressed. She was quiet, polite, and observant. Mostly, she tried to stay out of the way and focus on her tasks, dusting star lamps, cleaning crystal walls, polishing the smooth floor tiles, and keeping the long hallways bright. She had only been working at the palace for a week when she was assigned to the evening chamber duties, which included passing by Sirath's room. Her supervisor was a Celestiar attendant named Lure, who always spoke in a precise and serious tone. "Do not look directly at the dragon for too long," Lure instructed. "Do not speak unless the Emperor or the dragon addresses you. And most importantly, do not step too close." Sirath is calm, but powerful beings can feel disturbed by unnecessary movement. Ilara nodded quickly. "I understand. I will do everything carefully." Lure studied her for a moment. "Humans are known for curiosity. Make sure yours does not cause trouble." Ilara promised she would be careful. She truly meant it. But she also knew something about herself. She noticed things. Small things. Quiet things. Many people walk through life seeing only the big picture. But Ilara saw the tiny details that others overlooked. She had always been that way. On her first night of evening chamber duty, she carried her cleaning tools down the long hallway toward Sirath's room. She walked slowly and respectfully. The palace quieted as the night cycle approached. The soft evening glow lights came on, painting the walls with warm colors. The air smelled faintly of starflowers. Ilara paused outside the dragon's chamber, took a steady breath, and stepped inside. The room was enormous, almost like a private garden. The walls curved slowly outward, as if embracing the space. Floating lanterns drifted lazily in the air, shining with gentle, pale light. A soft carpet made of woven star silk covered the floor, and at the center of the room, in a peaceful resting position, lay Sirath. The dragon was even more magnificent up close. Its scales rippled with calm blue and soft silver tones. Its eyes were half closed, as if in deep thought or a light dream. Each breath made the air shift gently, like the soft movement of a breeze. And then, as Alara entered, she saw them shimmering drops forming at the corner of Cyrith's large eye, sliding down its smooth snout, and landing silently on the carpet. Crystal tears, just as everyone had said. But Alara saw something else too. With each tear, Cyrith's scales flickered faintly as if showing a quick image, a small memory. She could not see the memory clearly, but she felt there was something meaningful hidden there, something unshared. Alara froze for a moment. She did not want to disturb the dragon, but she also felt a strong kindness rise inside her. The dragon did not look dangerous. It looked lonely. She moved carefully, cleaning only the far side of the room so Cyrith would not feel crowded. The dragon did not turn its head, but she could sense its attention, noticing her. Not scared, not annoyed, just aware. Hours passed quietly. Alara worked with calm, steady motions. When she finished her cleaning tasks, she began arranging the lanterns into a more soothing pattern. They were scattered randomly when she entered. She gently moved them so their glow formed a soft circle around the room, creating a cozy light balance. As she did this, Sirath's humming changed slightly. The soft chord grew warmer, like a sound expressing curiosity. Alara looked up. Sirath's eyes were open now, but only a little. The dragon's gaze held no threat. It simply watched her calm, gentle, and observant. Alara offered a small, respectful bow. "Hello," she said softly, though she knew talking was not required. "I hope I am not disturbing you." Cyrith blinked slowly. The humming lightened again, almost like a peaceful reply. Encouraged by this, Alara spoke again. "Your room is very beautiful. I'm just trying to make it feel a little more comfortable for you." Gram. She never stepped closer than necessary. She never reached out a hand. She simply spoke with sincerity. For the first time in years, the dragon shifted its wings slightly, not in alarm, but in a calm stretch. Its scales glimmered, and the soft blue color turned a little brighter. One of the floating lanterns drifted gently toward Alara, as if pushed by a tiny breeze created by Cyrith's movement. Alara smiled gently. She did not reach for the lantern, but the movement warmed her heart. She sensed something, then something she could not explain. Cyrith's tears were not caused by pain, nor by fear. They felt like the expression of old memories. Maybe memories that Cyrith could not share with anyone. Maybe memories too big or too strange for Celestiar scholars to understand. Alara finished adjusting the light arrangement and stepped back toward the exit. "Good night, Cyrith," she said in a soft voice. "I hope tomorrow feels brighter for you." As she turned away, she felt the faintest change in the air, a soft, warm wave. She looked back. For a brief moment, she saw the tears on the floor glowing slightly less than before. Not gone, but gentler. And Cyrith's scales glowed with a new hint of soft green, a color that symbolized calm. When Alara left the room, she did not notice the Emperor standing at a distance down the hall. He had come for his usual silent check on the dragon, but had paused when he saw the young maid inside. He had watched the entire time. The Emperor's expression remained thoughtful. Celestiar eyes were difficult for humans to read, but if one could look closely, they might see a small spark of curiosity there. A spark mixed with quiet surprise, because for the first time since Cyrith's tears began, something had changed. The next morning in the Palace of Abstraction began like any other. Soft sunlight filtered through the crystal windows, filling the hallways with gentle color. Servants moved quietly through their routines, carrying polished trays and floating data pads. Everything seemed peaceful on the surface. But in the workers' lounge, whispers were already spreading. "I heard Sirith shifted its wings last night," someone murmured. "That cannot be true," another said. "Sirith has not reacted to an attendant in years." But someone saw the Emperor walking past the dragon's chamber. He looked thoughtful. How unusual. Alara heard none of this. She arrived early, as always, straightening her uniform and tying her hair into its neat braid. She liked arriving, before the palace grew busy. The silence of the early morning helped her feel calm. Her first task of the day was to assist in the East Hall garden. She trimmed floating petals, arranged nutrient stones at the base of the star trees, and dusted off the transparent pathways. She worked with quiet efficiency, focusing only on her job. But even while she worked, her thoughts kept drifting back to Sirath. She remembered the dragon's calm gaze, the soft blue glow of its scales, and the way the lantern floated toward her, as if Sirath wanted to reach out but did not know how. She remembered the tears that shimmered like crystal drops yet felt strangely gentle, almost peaceful. She hoped Sirath was feeling better today. Her morning shift passed smoothly. By midday, she returned to the central hall, where attendants checked schedules. Luray, the Celestiar supervisor, stood waiting with the usual calm expression. "Ilara Wynn," Luray said. "The Emperor wishes to keep you on evening chamber duty again." Ilara blinked in surprise. "Me? Again?" "Yes," Luray replied. "It seems your presence did not disturb Sirath. That is rare. The Emperor values stability in the dragon's emotional space. If Sirath reacts well to you, the Emperor will not change the arrangement." Ilara nodded slowly, trying to hide her curiosity. "Of course. I will do my best." Luray studied her with narrowed, silver eyes. "Do not allow your interest to distract you from your duties. The Emperor sees more than we do. If he chooses to keep you there, it is not our place to question. Simply continue your work with care." Ilara promised again to be careful, but she also felt a quiet excitement. She did not know why, but something deep inside her believed Sirath was not just a guardian. There was more to the dragon than anyone understood. Evening arrived sooner than expected. The palace lights softened. The long hallways grew calm. Floating lanterns moved into night mode, shifting into warm and gentle colors, and Ilara made her way toward Sirath's chamber. When she stepped inside, she paused, not out of fear, but out of awe. Sirath was awake. The dragon sat upright. Its long neck curved gracefully. Wings folded neatly against its sides. Its eyes glowed softly, reflecting the lantern light. The small sunlight glow within its chest pulsed in a slow, peaceful rhythm. The tears were still there, forming and falling like shimmering droplets, but they came slower than before. Ilara took a step back in surprise, unsure if she had disturbed the dragon. But then something gentle happened. Sirath lowered its head slightly. Not as a warning, not as a display of power, but as if it were greeting her. Ilara's voice came out quiet and warm. "Hello, Sirath. I didn't expect you to be awake so soon." The dragon blinked once, a slow, calm gesture. Ilara relaxed and moved carefully along the edges of the room, dusting surfaces, adjusting lanterns, and making sure not to step too close. As she worked, she spoke softly, not loud enough to disrupt the peace, but enough for Sirath to hear if it wished. She talked about simple things, the floating flowers she had trimmed that morning, the soft wind that blew across the garden courtyard, the way Earth's sun felt warmer than the gentle Astraction light. She did not expect any response. She spoke because it felt right, and because Sirath's chamber was too quiet, too lonely. But then she noticed something. Whenever she described something peaceful like quiet early mornings, warm tea, soft breezes, Sirath's scales shifted into softer colors. Pale green, warm silver, light blue. Whenever she spoke about something surprising or new like humans learning to live among Celestiars, the colors brightened with a faint shimmer. It was as if Sirath was listening. Ilara paused her cleaning and looked gently toward the dragon. "You understand emotions, don't you?" she asked softly. Sirath blinked again. Ilara continued. "You're not sad because of danger. Not because of fear. These tears, they feel like memories. Memories that you can't share. Memories that become too heavy to keep inside." Sirath's scales flickered a deep blue different from before, a thoughtful blue. Ilara felt her heart tighten gently. She didn't know if she was right, but she felt close to the truth. She sat down on a small bench near the wall, keeping a respectful distance. She didn't want to seem rude or bold. She simply wanted to offer her presence. "You know," she said softly, "humans cry sometimes too. Not because something is wrong. Sometimes we cry when we remember something important, something we miss, or something beautiful." Sirath's humming sound changed again. It became softer, lighter, like the dragon was trying to understand her. Elara continued speaking gently. "If you ever feel like you're carrying too much, it's okay. You don't have to hide it. I don't know how much I can help, but I'm here. Even if you don't speak, I can still listen." The dragon lowered its head slightly toward her, its large eyes glowing faintly. A new tear formed, but this one shone brighter, almost like a small star. It fell slowly, landing with a soft, musical sound. Elara stood quietly. She did not touch the tear. She simply watched. A faint shimmer rose from the crystal droplet, a tiny projection of light. The image was blurry, like a memory too old to show clearly. She saw shapes, maybe people, maybe landscapes, maybe something else entirely. The projection faded quickly, but Elara felt a quiet wonder inside her. Sirath was trying to speak, not with words, not with sound, but with memories. She turned toward the dragon with gentle curiosity. "Is that what you've been trying to show everyone? Memories of something precious?" Sirath let out a soft breath. A warm breeze swept gently across the room, making the lanterns sway lightly. The dragon's chest glowed a little brighter, and its scales brightened to a soft silver green. Elara understood. Maybe no one had ever stopped long enough to notice. Maybe everyone saw the tears and assumed sadness or malfunction. Maybe no one truly looked beyond the shimmering drops. But she did. Not because she was special, but because she paid attention to quiet things. Elara stepped back to her cleaning tasks. She didn't want to overwhelm the dragon with too much emotion at once. She worked slowly, creating a peaceful rhythm in the room. She arranged lanterns into new gentle patterns like soothing circles, soft flowing paths, and calming spirals. Sirath watched her with steady eyes. Each time she finished a pattern, the dragon's humming changed slightly, as if reacting to the emotional balance of the space. When Elara placed the last lantern, she smiled warmly. "There," she said. "A little softer, a little calmer." The dragon's tail shifted slightly, not enough to alarm her, just a small, peaceful movement. Elara sensed the air warm again. She took a deep breath. "I don't know why your memories hurt," she said gently, "but I hope sharing them makes you feel less alone." A faint shimmer rose again from the floor, this time not from a tear but from Sirath's inner glow. It was small, soft, and comforting, like a silent thank you. When her shift ended, Elara packed her tools slowly. She turned to Sirath once more. "Good night," she said warmly. "I'll see you tomorrow." As she stepped out of the room, she once again didn't notice the Emperor standing down the hall. His hands were folded behind his back. His expression was calm, but his eyes were thoughtful. This time, he was not simply observing, he was studying. Because Sirath, the guardian of the Empire, the oldest living piece of Celestiar history, had reacted to a human maid with a gentleness it had not shown in generations. Something truly extraordinary was beginning, and the Emperor wanted to understand it. Days passed in the Palace of Abstraction, and each evening Elara continued her quiet routine inside Sirath's chamber. What began as simple cleaning slowly became something deeper. A gentle connection formed, soft, unspoken, but real. The palace staff noticed small changes. Sirath's glow looked warmer. Its wings rested more calmly. Its tears, though still falling, shimmered with softer colors instead of heavy sadness. And Elara, though still shy and careful, moved with new confidence when she walked toward the dragon's chamber. She never hurried. She never carried fear. She carried respect and patience. One evening, while she was polishing a luminous stone wall, she suddenly felt a warm breeze behind her. It was not from the palace vents. It was from Sirath. She turned slowly. Sirath had lifted its head again, not in alarm, but in wonder. The dragon studied her with a glowing, curious gaze. The room felt peaceful, almost like a gentle dream. Alara placed her hand on her chest and gave a small bow. "Good evening, Cyrith. I hope your day was calm." Cyrith lowered its head slightly, a polite gesture in Celestiar culture. Alara had learned this from her training manuals but never expected the dragon to use it. She continued tidying the chamber, but today felt different. The air held a feeling of anticipation, like something important was waiting just beneath the surface. While rearranging the lanterns into a soft spiral shape, Alara noticed Cyrith watching her hands. Its eyes followed every movement, calm and thoughtful. "You like the pattern, don't you?" Alara asked with a gentle smile. The dragon blinked twice, the closest thing it had to a nod. Encouraged, Alara created another arrangement. This time, she placed the lanterns in two gentle curves facing each other. She stepped aside to see the full shape. Cyrith hummed, and its scales glowed a soft greenish blue. The color seemed happy. Alara brightened. "I'm glad you like it." Then something remarkable happened. A faint glow rose from the floor, a soft, swirling light. This time, the projection from Cyrith's tear was not blurred. It sharpened slowly, as if the dragon itself wanted the image to be clear. Alara froze, eyes widening. A small holographic scene formed above the crystal tear. It showed a wide sky filled with two suns, a smooth silver valley, and a group of young Celestiar children running joyfully as a much smaller Cyrith flew above them with slow, gentle circles. The scene lasted only a few seconds, but it left Alara breathless. "Cyrith," she whispered. "That's your memory." Cyrith's wings shifted slightly, releasing a soft glow. The dragon was sharing something precious. Alara stepped closer, not too close, but enough to see the memory more clearly. "You were with others. With Celestiar children?" Another tear fell. Another image appeared. This one showed a young Celestiar scholar, tall and graceful, gently touching Cyrith's forehead. The scholar seemed to be teaching the dragon something, maybe their first shared emotion, maybe their first bond. The image vanished. Alara felt her chest tighten with soft warmth. These memories were not sad. They were beautiful. But she understood why they might cause tears. Sometimes remembering something treasured could bring gentle emotion. "You're showing me your past," she said softly. "Thank you for trusting me." Cyrith lowered its head, as if acknowledging her gratitude, but Alara wondered. Why had the dragon waited so long to share this? Why had it never shown these images to the Emperor or the Celestiar scholars? Maybe because no one else truly paused to listen. Later that night, after Alara finished her tasks, she sat on the small bench again. Cyrith watched her closely, as if waiting for her to speak. Alara smiled gently. "I've been thinking. Everyone here respects you so much. You're the guardian of this whole empire. But I don't think they understand you the way they believe." The dragon's scales glowed with a soft silver blue, curious, thoughtful. "You're not only a protector," she continued. "You're someone who remembers things. Someone with a heart. Someone who feels." Another tear formed, but this time it shone with warm colors, not sadness. Alara leaned forward slightly. "You don't want to be silent. You want to share. You want someone to understand your memories." Cyrith hummed a soft, melodic sound. Alara suddenly realized something important. The tears weren't just memories. They were messages, unspoken stories, pieces of history Cyrith had carried alone for many years, perhaps too many. She felt a strong kindness rise inside her. Without thinking too much, she said, "If you want, I can help you share your memories. Maybe with the Emperor. Maybe with the scholars. Maybe with others. You shouldn't have to hold everything alone." For a moment, Cyrith was completely still. Then the dragon's chest glowed brighter, warm, calm, hopeful. A small wave of soft air swept across the room, touching Alara like a gentle breeze. It felt like a thank you. A hopeful thank you. Alara placed her hand over her heart again. "I can't promise I'll fix everything. But I can promise I'll listen, and I'll try my best." The dragon's eyes softened. For the first time since she started working at the palace, Ilara felt she had found a purpose far beyond cleaning floors and arranging lanterns. She was becoming a bridge, a small human, connecting a silent dragon to the world that had forgotten how to hear it. The next day, the Emperor made an unusual decision. He called for Ilara personally. She arrived at the throne hall trembling slightly, unsure why the Emperor wanted to see her. The hall was enormous, with a ceiling that sparkled like the night sky. The Emperor stood in the center, wearing robes that shimmered like starlight. "Ilara Wynn," the Emperor said in his calm voice. "I have observed your work with Sirath." Ilara bowed deeply. "Your Majesty, I hope I did not disturb the dragon." "On the contrary," the Emperor replied. "You brought peace where there was sorrow." Ilara blinked in surprise. The Emperor continued, "Sirath has begun projecting memories. This has not happened since the earliest days of the Celestiar civilization." He stepped closer, his expression thoughtful. "Tell me, Ilara, how did you earn Sirath's trust?" Quote, Ilara looked down modestly. "I didn't do anything special, Your Majesty. I only listened." The dragon seemed lonely. "So, I talked. Gently. I tried to understand." The Emperor raised an eyebrow. "Humans are known for strong emotions. Perhaps that is what Sirath needed." "I think Sirath needed patience," she replied softly, "and someone who wasn't afraid of quiet moments." The Emperor was silent for a long time. Finally, he said, "I want you to continue. I want you to help Sirath share these memories. You may become something like a memory interpreter." Ilara's eyes widened. "Me? But I'm only a maid." "You are whatever the dragon responds to," the Emperor said simply. "Position does not matter. Connection does." Ilara felt both nervous and honored. "I will do my best, Your Majesty." The Emperor nodded. "Good. And Ilara?" "Thank you." His voice softened, though still dignified. "You may have awakened something long lost." That evening, when Ilara returned to Sirath's chamber, she told the dragon about her meeting with the Emperor. "I think he wants to understand you too," she said gently. "He just didn't know how." Sirath's scales shimmered with soft gold, an emotion Ilara had not seen before. "Hope. It's okay," she said softly. "We'll help him understand." Slowly. One memory at a time. The dragon hummed a soft note that echoed around the chamber like warm music. More tears fell, but this time, the memories projected brighter and clearer. Peaceful landscapes, old Celestiar festivals, young scholars laughing, Sirath flying under twin suns, moments of joy, moments of pride, moments of friendship. Ilara watched each one carefully, absorbing every detail. These were not only Sirath's memories, they were the Celestiar Empire's memories lost, forgotten, or hidden for centuries. And, because of one patient human maid, the memories were returning to the world. Something extraordinary had begun, and it was only the start. The Palace of Abstraction glowed under the twin moons that night. Light reflected off crystal towers, making the city look like a sky filled with stars. Even the quiet hallways seemed brighter than usual, as if they knew something extraordinary was unfolding. Ilara walked towards Sirath's chamber with a sense of purpose. Tonight was not only her regular shift. Tonight, the Emperor himself would come to see the dragon's memories for the first time. The news had traveled quickly through the palace. A human maid had earned the trust of the Emperor's dragon, and the Emperor had requested to witness the experience personally. Ilara felt both nervous and excited. She carried her cleaning tools and her small notebook, where she had been noting the memories Sirath shared each night. But she also carried something more important: patience, kindness, and understanding the qualities that had allowed Sirath to open up in the first place. When she entered the chamber, the dragon was already awake, sitting tall and calm in the soft glow of the lanterns. Its eyes shimmered with the faint blue-green light of curiosity. "Good evening, Sirath," Ilara said softly. "The Emperor will join us tonight. He wants to see your memories. I will help you share them." Sirath's tail shifted slightly, and a soft hum filled the room, a sound of acknowledgement. It was a sound Ilara had come to recognize as its way of saying, "I trust you." She began arranging the lanterns again, creating a calming spiral pattern that seemed to soothe the dragon. Then she stepped back and watched quietly, giving Sirith room to project its memories. Soon, a tear fell from Sirith's eye, and a holographic scene appeared above the crystal floor. This time, the images were brighter and sharper than ever before. First came the memory of Celestiar children running through silver valleys under twin suns, with a young Sirith flying above, keeping watch. The dragon's gentle laughter, soft and musical, seemed to echo through the chamber. Elara's heart warmed as she watched. "Beautiful," she whispered. "You were always watching over them, weren't you?" Another memory appeared, showing a celebration in the palace long before she arrived. Scholars, artisans, and young warriors danced together. Sirath hovered above, its scales glimmering, participating in a way only it could. Elara smiled. "These are not sad memories," she said softly. "They are moments of happiness. You've protected joy for centuries, haven't you?" Sirath's scales flickered with a soft gold, a color Elara had never seen before, warm, proud, and gentle all at once. Then, the door opened. The Emperor entered quietly, his tall figure moving with the grace of one used to authority and observation. He did not speak immediately. He watched, his eyes fixed on the holographic memories projected by Sirath. Elara bowed respectfully. "Your Majesty," she said softly, "I will help Sirath share these memories with you. You only need to watch." The Emperor nodded, his gaze remaining on the images. For several moments, he said nothing. His usual calm expression was unbroken, yet Elara sensed a subtle change in him, something like awe. Sirath projected more memories. Now they were personal. The first time it had interacted with the Emperor as a young ruler. The first lessons it had received from Celestiar scholars. And the quiet moments when the palace had slept and the dragon had been alone with the weight of memory. The Emperor's eyes softened slightly as he watched. He could see the loyalty, the wisdom, and the deep emotional connection Sirith had with his empire. He understood now why the dragon had wept for so long, not from pain, but from the burden of remembrance. The joy and sorrow of centuries compressed into silent tears. Elara, standing a respectful distance away, whispered to Sirith, "See? He understands now." Sirath's eyes shimmered as it lowered its head slightly toward her. Then, it projected another memory, this one of Elara herself. The image showed the first evening she had cleaned the chamber, arranged the lanterns, and spoken softly to the dragon. The hologram displayed the quiet patience in her gestures, the warmth in her voice, and the gentle attention she gave to every detail. The Emperor's gaze fell upon her. He gave a rare, slight smile. "This Humyn," he said softly, "is remarkable. She has accomplished what even the most experienced scholars could not. She has bridged the gap between dragon and empire." Elara bowed again, her cheeks warming. "I did only what I could, Your Majesty," she said humbly. "I listened. That is all." The Emperor shook his head gently. "It is more than that. Listening is rare. Seeing is rare. Understanding is even rarer. You have brought harmony where silence reigned for centuries." Sirith projected a final memory. The dragon soaring over the palace at dawn, carrying a young human child on its back, safe, happy, and free. The scene glowed brighter than any before, the colors merging into a soft cascade of gold and silver light. Elara stepped back, tears of joy welling in her eyes. Sirith had not just shared history, it had shared hope. The Emperor spoke quietly, almost to himself. "Perhaps humanity has something to teach us after all." Elara smiled, though she tried to hide her emotion. "We can learn from each other," she said softly. "If we only take the time to notice." Sirath's chest glowed warmly, a gentle hum vibrating through the chamber. It was a sound that seemed to say, "I am no longer alone." For the first time in generations, Sirith's tears were not sorrowful. They were gentle expressions of connection, trust, and understanding. From that night onward, Elara became Sirath's official memory interpreter. She recorded memories, helped project them safely to the emperor and the palace scholars, and organized moments that the dragon wished to share with the empire. Each memory contained lessons, stories, and emotions that inspired everyone who witnessed them. The Celestiar Empire began to change. Scholars no longer studied Cyrith as only a guardian, they learned from it as a teacher. Artisans painted and sculpted scenes inspired by the dragon's memories. Young Celestiar children learned patience, kindness, and empathy from the tales projected by Cirath, with Ilara guiding the experience. Diplomats and visitors from other worlds were amazed. A human maid had done what no Celestiar scholar or elder could do. She had touched the heart of the Emperor's dragon and opened a bridge between history, memory, and emotion. The story spread quickly throughout the stars. Tales of Ilara and Cyrith became legendary. Humans were praised not for power or technology, but for patience, understanding, and the ability to truly see another being. One night, after a long day of projecting memories, Ilara sat quietly on her bench, while Cyrith rested nearby. The dragon looked peaceful, glowing with soft silver and gold. "You are happy now, aren't you?" Ilara whispered. Cyrith hummed gently. Its chest pulsed with calm warmth. The tears still came, but now they shimmered like tiny stars, expressions of joy rather than sorrow. Ilara smiled. "I'm happy too, because I understand you, and because now, everyone else will too." The Emperor appeared at the door, as he often did, silently observing the harmony in the chamber. He stood for a long moment, then spoke in a soft voice. "Humans bring change in unexpected ways. Ilara Wynn has shown us the power of listening, patience, and kindness. Let it remind the Empire that greatness is not always in strength or knowledge alone. Sometimes, it is in understanding." Ilara bowed, though her heart was full. She did not know if she would ever forget this night. She had helped awaken not only Cyrith's memories, but a new respect for humanity in the hearts of the Celestiar people. The dragon, lying peacefully, gave a soft, musical hum. Its wings shifted slightly, and its eyes glowed warmly as it looked at Ilara. The palace, the empire, and the universe beyond would never be the same, because one human maid had stopped to notice, had taken the time to listen, and had reminded a dragon and an entire civilization of the simple beauty of connection. And for Cyrith, the dragon who had wept alone for centuries, every night was no longer filled with sorrow. It now held trust, friendship, and the gentle wonder of being understood. The stars outside twinkled softly, reflecting the light of crystal towers. Ilara smiled as she glanced around the peaceful chamber. The hum of the dragon, the warmth of the light, and the quiet of the night made her heart feel full. She realized that sometimes, the smallest acts of care could change the course of history. And in that moment, she knew one thing clearly. The world was full of wonders waiting to be noticed, and she would spend her life noticing them. Because sometimes, all it takes is patience, understanding, and a kind heart to awaken the extraordinary. The dragon's soft hum filled the room, echoing like a lullaby across the crystal halls of the palace. And for the first time, everyone, dragon, maid, and emperor alike, felt the quiet magic of a truly connected heart. The story of Ilara Wynn and Cyrith would be remembered forever. The end.